Hello everybody, welcome back to SketchCraft Live. The goal here is to Digipaint my Mononoke Copic piece. Do a little Digipainting on top of this, make it super spiffy. I'll show you my color roughy. This is my initial thumbnail right here. I did a little basic idea. And so far this is everything over here that I've done by hand and with Copic markers. All the videos are in my channel, so you can see all the different steps. And then now is to sort of convert to this and then do additional details and stuff. So that'll be the first step. One thing I'm going to do here is just make a grayscale version of my color and kind of use this as a guide for my value. And I'll do grayscale background here. And then we'll throw in color on top of that and all the extra details and stuff. So that is how this is going to get done. So let me just go ahead and share this little event with my Facebook. I seriously doubt anyone else will be up the night before Christmas Eve night. But you never know. There are a few out there who have nothing else to do, like me, but work. So there we go. Got that link put in there. And then I'm just going to double check and grab myself a little piece of reference from the actual movie. So I have a little bit of actual production art and just kind of keep all my I think that'll do it. And we can get started. Do, 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 do. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Grab my tool. I'm going to create some black bars here. I'll just paint out to those edges. All right. And then we'll I'll just go ahead and turn that in fully grayscale so I can just move past. And then I'm going to sample this color. That's not what I was trying to do. I'm going to preview in CMYK while I work. Oh, shucks. There we go. Pretty easy. Let's see how I want to do this. How does that work? Let's see. Trying to avoid trying to mask all those little branches out. All I want to do is kind of like drop in a basic lighting scheme and then kind of render it out on top. Not trying to create. I'll save as. First things first, I forgot to do this. Shows I'm a little rusty. Color 01. Let me save that. And then to cut down on file size, I can lower the DPI a little bit and then replace the line art. And I can cut that down by half. And then I can just go and replace the line art with the higher res version. And I'll call that LR so I know it's low res. Or medium res really, but it's just the term I use. You can do it with color. Line art not so much, but with color it's not nearly as troublesome. Save you some memory. I'm going to go here and just smooth and blend out all these edges. And then turn off the toolbar. Now, when you're doing this grayscale stuff, the trick isn't to go and paint every little detail in grayscale, every little leaf and fig and berry and squirrel poop there is. The trick is to really kind of get the basic lighting and, value down and, elementary sort of details and stuff, like the big pieces. And then then once that's sort of worked in, the contrast is good, is then just start to build in the color. And on top of that, add in all the extra details like the finishing, like the grass and the foliage and all that additional stuff. I mean, you could throw some to begin with, but don't sit there trying to like throw that stuff in and then try to manually tint every little blade of grass. I mean, you're going to be there for 10 years not getting it right. I try to keep my eyes a little blurred while I'm doing these things, like just kind of blur out, so I'm not focused on, hyper focusing on details. And then I'm going to come here on the background and set a darken layer and just tint any of these white highlights on the background. And I'll do this again with the characters when I move them to color. I'm not erasing any of the color data on the character. It's all grayscale just so I can focus on the background. But the only thing I'm really using this grayscale right now is for the background, and then I'll mask in the Copic color and retint it to the background once there's details and stuff. Now I'm going to add a little contrast here. I'm going to save process. 28. Now let's see what I can do here about blocking some of this color. First thing I'm going to do is just try to take my blacks and kind of make them a little bluish, little cool. A little purplish. Just tinting the blacks. And what I'm using is this selective color adjustment layer. So and then in the selective color, you go to this little adjustment layer down here. You can click that. And then in there, you can select all the different channels or colors. And here you can go white, neutrals, blacks. If I wanted to, I could take the whites and make them totally yellow. See? Could block that in as is too. I'm going to try to avoid doing that right now. I'm just going to try to just tint the blacks, and we'll see if I can manually color some of this stuff in. At least the basic lighting. So let me start with an overlay. Nah, it's a little too. I'll go with the multiply. And then I'm going to go ahead and just select that as my mask. Maybe I'll start with the color burn and turn the opacity down a little bit. Maybe that's too much. I'm trying to multiply. Try to do a soft light, then I'll try. And then I'm going to make this bottom part, the basic lighting, blue. And I can go work in browns and rock tones and stuff after the fact. I'm really just trying to get the basic lighting in. I'll have to work out some of the masking there. Come on, open. The trick is to kind of go lightly, very lightly. Kind of build up. Don't just press down and be like, work color, like I'm not trying to over exaggerate it, like be all quirky and shit. I'm just being serious. Like sometimes I see people just like trying to make things move faster than they need to. Just kind of relax and very lightly use your Wacom tab or Cintiq or whatever else it is you're using. You know. And this just takes time. You have to give yourself a little bit of patience. So let's see. And go and clean up this mask here. Doesn't really matter if it's perfect. It's the bigger areas. The ones in the middle I really care about. Around the edges doesn't really matter because those all get tinted in anyway. Ah! All right. I gotta be careful I don't undo stuff I did. Like, yeah, over here. Sometimes I forget if I'm painting with the positive or negative brush. It's my bad. So that's a start. Create a new layer, and then I start to block in some of this stream stuff I initially had planned on having. Yeah, it's too much. Looks like he's taking a piss. That's what I was afraid of. And now we have the beginnings of a piece here. So I'm going to take this, come right up here, and I think I will. Annoying. A real artist would have masked this out all properly before he started, but you know, you can wing it. This is why I always hire people to do my flats, because I am like the laziest when it comes to this. And flatters, they loathe my like, what the hell? Your shit's all fucked up. That's not hard. And I'm like, yeah, well, you draw the shit. Like, by the time I get to masking and stuff, it's like the last thing I want to do. All right, down to 40%. I'm gonna have to really fix all that up. It's not a very good mask. it's really all just a start. It's a very early rough. It's like just blocking in the color, you know. Not bad for about an hour. And I can just mask out some of the tinting around her. And using my initial Copics as the full saturated light source. This is why I don't add any like background lighting to the Copics when I do them. I let white be the color white, the value of white be the highlight, so that I can tint it here. Now the dog should be backlit. This wolf. I'll go till 3 o'clock, and then when I get some sleep, and I'll get up in the morning and work on this until it's time for me to head out. About 20 more minutes. It's a good start, though. You know, it needs a lot of detail work to kind of tie it all together. This was going to be a monstrous piece when I started out. There was no easy way around this. Let's see, what time is it? 8 minutes. It's not much time. So first thing I'm gonna do when I get up in the morning is I gotta go in and I gotta tint all these white lines, here these highlights to the edges. And then I gotta clean up all of this stuff, which is a matter of painting on top. And getting that all sort of cleaned up. Coming down here and painting all this stuff in. And sort of cleaning it up a little bit. And then I can start to build all the little vegetation, wildlife, and detail into the piece. But that's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start. Converting raw Copics to a final paint. That's a start. So join me again here in about hopefully 6 hours. I'll be back up and I can paint for about another 4 or so before I have to head out for the holiday. Thanks for hanging out with me. It is so late. I will see you all in the morning.